What's up, Fumble fam? I'm Brooke.
And I'm Noelle, and you're listening to Girls Don't Fumble, the #1 sports podcast for NFL Girl Talk.
We sift through all the football news so you don't have to.
Let's get into it.
So, Noelle, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great. You know, it was very, very eventful. I basically was in 2 different cities.
You had 2 trips in one weekend.
I had 2 trips in one weekend, which is why I also sound a little ill.
Nice.
I feel like the last episode I said I was ill, but like I was, and now I'm sick again. I don't know how that happens, but It was fun. The first leg of my trip was a wedding up in NorCal. It was in it was like north of Napa County, so lots of wine, lots of wineries, really beautiful. I was with one of my close friends from college, and then the second leg of my trip was going to Denver. I had planned to go to a show at Red Rocks, but unfortunately it was canceled due to high winds.
No. Oh my God.
Which was unfortunate, but the artist / DJ, he ended up kind of shuffling some things around, and he ended up having shows at an indoor venue, which was 3 minutes away from our Airbnb, which was really nice.
Love that.
However, the wind was still there in Denver. The wind didn't go anywhere, and we ended up sitting outside or standing in line for about an hour and a half before the doors opened.
No.
So we were just freezing. It felt like Antarctica. We brought in some people who were in front of line with us, and we all huddled together like little penguins.
And March of the Penguins towards the door.
Yep. And every time like the line would move up, we'd be like, okay, guys, like let's inch along.
Shuffle along.
Yeah.
Complete strangers that you met in line.
Complete
using their body heat.
Yes. But they were so sweet. There were some young girls who didn't pack for the occasion, like they didn't wear jackets.
Cuties.
So they definitely needed some warmth from the elders, aka us.
We're like, we are bringing our jackets.
Yeah.
No, but I don't blame them. If the show's inside, I'm going no jacket. I'm going tube top, even if it's below freezing outside. Because I'm not anticipating a line.
They're not wrong. And they're also from Oregon too. Like they drove.
God.
I don't know if they drove, but they came from afar, just like a lot of us. And like the weather wasn't stopping us from going to see the show, and it ended up being really fun. Little tired today for sure, but what's new when we record on Mondays?
I know. Last week, after we told you guys we were so tired recording on Monday night, we're like, we're never going to do that again. That maybe wasn't like our best energy we could have put forth. Here we are, next episode, Monday night. Oops. Sorry, guys.
We got to do it to them. How was your weekend?
Oh my gosh, my weekend was good. It was definitely less chill than the standing outside in freezing cold to get into the DJ with 2 weekend trips. I went yesterday to a joint dog birthday. So it was 2 dogs having a birthday in the park. It was really sweet.
I love that. More dog birthdays, please.
Exactly. I was like, this is the most LA thing ever, that like my weekend plans are a doggy birthday. And it was so cute because there was a moment where they cut the cake and then handed it out to the dogs. And of course, you know, the people didn't get any cake. And so we all just like sat and watched the dogs eat their cake, and they were so happy. They loved it. The most wholesome thing ever. So
do we know the bakery that they got the cakes from? Is it like a well-known one? It's okay if you don't know it. But.
Well, I want to call it the Dog Bakery. It's the one at the Grove.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh yeah, it's literally called the Dog Bakery.
Spot on.
Yeah, and I've gotten cakes from them before. When I had Millie's adoption day anniversary last August, I got one for her, and she's really picky, but she absolutely loved it. They like personalize it, and you can put whatever you want in the cake, and it's really sweet.
If humans wanted to eat it, is it edible for humans?
I was wondering that because I was looking at that cake, and I'm like,
can I just have a bite?
Doesn't look bad. Like if you have leftovers, I mean, pass it around to us.
Yeah.
I think when I was filling out like the forms to order Millie's cake from there, I assume it's probably like, I think it's like just less ingredients. So it's only dog friendly.
Yeah.
And you can either do like actual sprinkles, or you can do like meat sprinkled on top. So like maybe like that wouldn't be the most appealing cake for humans.
Yeah.
I feel like try it.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen whenever there's some kind of dog treat and it's like a cracker or a cookie, it's made with like sweet potatoes or carrots and edible things.
Yeah.
I'd be down to try it. I don't know what the frosting would be, but I don't know.
I've never tried any of Millie's food, but I'm shocked I haven't. not to go on a whole different tangent of do you guys try your dog's food when you eat it? No.
We just have to make sure it's safe for the pups.
Yeah, we don't. I got Millie vegan dog food over the weekend.
Oh, I wonder, did she like it?
I haven't given it to her yet. I'm scared she's going to reject it.
Not farmer's dog or farmer's.
It was just food for dogs. They had their flavor of the month is vegan. I don't think that's going to go over well with the dogs, but I'll let you guys know how it goes.
I love that. Well, that's amazing. But overall, great weekend.
Yeah, I did not mean to talk about eating my dog's food on the podcast. For the record, I've never done that.
We don't do that here. We don't condone it.
But if you guys do, we're not judging.
No. And especially if it's made with human ingredients.
That could be our poll on the Spotify episode. Have you tried your dog's food before? Y or N?
All right, let's stop that there.
Cut it out.
Oh my gosh, awesome. Well, for today's episode, we're hoping that this will be somewhat of a shorter one, but this will be somewhat of a new segment that we wanted to introduce to you all. This episode is dedicated to our Wifey of the Week.
Ooh.
We love it. Our Wifey of the Week, where we choose one NFL wifey that we adore, that we inspire to be, and that we're just constantly in awe by. So a big reason why we really decided to start this podcast was to do a little bit of a deep dive into the women that are kind of there uplifting the men that are on the field that we are always cheering on. Mm-hmm. And we know that they are their man's biggest cheerleaders and supporters, and we want to be there to kind of uplift them in the same way. So I feel like this is a good time to kind of have a space to talk about them, because some of these women are entrepreneurs, some are moms, some are musicians, some are dancers, actresses, advocates in their communities. The list goes on. So because of that, we will be sharing for our first time our NFL Wifey of the Week.
Cute. I love that intro. Exactly. It's all about, building up those women behind the men.
Yes.
Absolutely. Should I reveal who it is?
Let's have the reveal.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be in the episode title, but if you guys somehow didn't look at the episode title, we are going to be talking about Kristin Juszczyk today, who is the wife of 49ers fullback Kyle Juszczyk. I didn't know how to pronounce their last names until I did this research, but Juszczyk is... Fact check me. Sounds good. Okay, great. So we're going to be diving into Kristin's story, just kind of maybe through college, meeting Kyle, talking about their time in the NFL. Then, of course, her very recent kind of blowing up of her entire career when Taylor Swift wore her jacket, and all of her hard work has paid off. So we're going to go into some detail on that. But Kristin, if you're listening, we love you. So starting off on how she met her now husband, Kyle, because I think it is such a fun story. And it's relatable in the most unrelatable way, but you'll see what I mean. So basically, she grew up in Long Island. She started going to school at University of Rhode Island, which is a few hours away from home. She wasn't totally feeling it. She stayed for a couple years and then transferred to the University of Towson in Baltimore. And at the time, Kyle's playing for the Ravens. Ooh. So she is a junior. She's brand new at this school. About a month in, her uncle calls her, who's a big NFL fan, and is like, hey, do you want to go to a Ravens game with me? So she's like, sure, never been to an NFL game before. Might as well go. Oh, they have nosebleeds up at the top. It ends up being a complete blowout game. So a lot of people leave, and they get to go down to the literally like very front row right behind the Ravens bench. Yeah. And so she's just sitting there, and who does she see? None other than Kyle Juszczyk, number 44. And she was like, oh my God, let me holler at him. Well, she didn't, but she just thought, oh my God, that guy looks cute. Yeah. And so, nothing happens there. He's obviously in the game. But then maybe a few weeks later, she's with her friends and she's like, I'm gonna see if that guy has a Facebook. So she looks up Kyle on Facebook, finds him, and then sends him a friend request, which I love, like normalize friend requesting people that you have a crush on that are in the kind of public eye. Yeah. So she adds him on Facebook. He accepts. Very exciting. And he starts liking a lot of her old pictures, which this is why I think this is so relatable, is because like I think we can all think back on a time when someone's way of flirting with us was like, just let me like one of your pictures, or then like I would like theirs, and it would go back and forth, and then it's like it's fun, but then he doesn't message, so now we're like a little bit annoyed, like okay.
Oh, and he's playing the game a little bit.
Exactly. So he's liking all her old photos, but he's not replying, or he's not sending any messages. So then she said that she was like kind of like pre-gaming one night with all of her friends, like, you know, you're going out in college, like how fun that used to be. And they were like, just message him. What's the worst thing that could happen? So she sends him a message on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he replies, and they end up chatting, and then he asked her out, and they went to dinner, and the rest is basically history from there.
I love that. And honestly, this is just comes to show that women need to be shooting their shot more.
Yes, exactly. Message the pro athletes on Facebook.
I thought you were going to say when she was sitting in the stands, he like called her over and was like, hey, like, let me get your, that would have been wild. But also this is still a great story. It's super cute. But I was like, this is every girl's dream, is to be noticed in the stands.
It's like when you get all dressed up for a Jonas Brothers concert, but you're sitting in the nosebleeds. It's like, I think Joe can see me. I did my makeup so Nick Jonas would notice me.
I swear the spotlight was on me.
No, that would have been a not relatable story. But I thought this was so funny because she noticed a cute athlete and like decided to add him on Facebook and message him.
Yeah.
I feel like all of my friends have done that at some point.
With somebody,
and me included. Maybe it's just me and maybe like one other friend. But I feel like that's such a good idea.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, when did this happen? If she was shooting her shot on Facebook originally, was this pre-Instagram?
I think this was like 2014, I want to say. It was like football season's like September
So
vibes.
we were still using Facebook / Instagram at that time.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram was a thing back then.
At least for messages. I don't really remember like DMing people in 2014. And maybe this is dating me. I have no idea.
I know. I remember I would just like post on people's walls. So at least she like had the, you know, the smarts to kind of keep it with a private DM. I would just been like, Kyle, how are ya?
Oh my gosh.
Big fans. I in the game.
Every once in a while, I will go on my Facebook and I'll see like what I posted to just like on people's walls. Back when I was in high school, I'm like, why did I do this in front of everybody?
Public and flirting and public fighting via the Facebook post, or just like, I want to have a sleepover tonight. It's crazy.
Everything was just out there in the wild. I guess it still is like that now, but just in a different way. Like things are out there, but people are just being a little bit more behind the scenes about it.
Yeah.
But it will,
exactly.
if you do anything bad, it will get out there.
Yeah. Everyone take a look at your Facebook memories, see what you got cooking in there, and let's keep everything, maybe some things to ourselves. But anyways, so they went to like a dinner date. They started dating pretty immediately after that. I think they went Instagram official only a few months later. So they're dating. They're really serious. He's still playing for the Ravens. She graduates college in 2016. Moves in with Kyle. So I'm like, ooh, oh my gosh, that's so serious, moving in with a guy right after college. I love that. And she started working in real estate, which I found interesting because, you know, I assumed she'd been a designer her whole life just with how like cool her pieces are. But she was a real estate agent.
That's so crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. I can
imagine
it.
Imagine what her world would be if she was a real estate agent still.
I imagine if you're one of those people who like, oh, Kristin Juszczyk sold me my house.
I mean, she would probably kill it, but I feel like she's really found her calling and what she's doing now. So
she has.
That's wild.
Yeah. So she was, working in real estate for about a year. But then, so Kyle was still on his rookie contract with the Ravens, and it was up after 4 years. So he was in his last year. This was in 2017, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they didn't want to renew him. They didn't want to give him another contract, which Kristin, I was listening to her on a podcast, was like, wait, we're so surprised by that. Like, you just assume that the team wants to renew you. But, you know, as we were talking about free agency, so much of it is just like money, salary caps, the position needs, things like that. So he ended up becoming a free agent in 2017. He got a bunch of like different offers from other teams. And then ultimately the best one was from the 49ers, where we know him to be today.
Love that. And I wonder how much she likes being up in NorCal versus in Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, she on the same podcast was saying that she was so excited to move to California because she grew up being like an East Coast girly. Yeah, and then I think like she was like excited about the new adventure, excited about the change. So I think they were pumped about that. But with that move and her working in real estate, like with her career, she was kind of just like she would have to retake the real estate exam because it is different state by state,
right?
And take the whole course again and kind of like get new connections. And she was thinking, I don't even know the area very well. How can I be a good real estate agent if I don't know the area at all? I don't know any connections. So she held off on taking the test and diving right back into that. I think she actually worked at SoulCycle, like did front desk for like a year just to like make friends and like have a routine before she like knew what she wanted to do. I love that. Before they moved to SF, Kyle did pop the question.
Yay.
Made it official. He put a ring on that finger. I think he proposed to her back in her hometown in Long Island on the beach. And then Beautiful. They had a like big party with both their families after. Very cute. I like that he took this step before they took that leap of kind of moving across the country and starting a new career and new life.
That's great. And I mean, to see their journey together and how this all started just from one football game into her moving across the country with what seems like and truly is the man of her dreams. Like you couldn't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah. Message that guy on Facebook, you guys. Message the pro athlete on Facebook as long as he's single and available and maybe a good person. Okay, so they're in SF now. They're engaged. She was, meeting people at the SoulCycle, and then in 2018, she founded her clothing company or her like kind of clothing selling company called Origin, which was an online boutique really dedicated to selling very unique pieces. So I think she's always been drawn to pieces that are different and one of a kind, and really just had a goal of, not only just making trendy clothes, but making them truly like statement pieces. And what I really liked about learning about Origin was she actually named it after her mom, who's named Virginia. And her mom passed away in 2012 from breast cancer, which is obviously so sad, and especially to lose your mom at that age. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So just her way of paying tribute to her mom throughout her career has been so beautiful, and including kind of the Gin and Virginia in the company title. That was very special.
Yeah, that's so sweet. I feel like in a lot of interviews that I've seen, her mom is kind of her motivation that keeps her going. And she always talks about like the divine timing of her starting her clothing brand Origin. And it's really great that she's able to like live on her legacy in a way of her being able to create in her own authentic way. So I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. I think she still talks, like she says she feels her mom's presence so much in her life. And like you said, the timing and just how many things have been going her way with, meeting the love of her life and her, dreams of her career going far beyond what she ever, I think, even thought was possible for her. And just dedicating it all to her mom, which is very special and very sweet.
That's awesome.
So we love that. So she is completely self-taught when it comes to starting a business. She said that she was just watching YouTube videos on like, what do I need to do to start a business? Like, do I need to like file some paperwork? What do I do?
Yeah.
So I think that really just speaks to her work ethic and just like how much she wanted to do this and make this happen. And another thing that she talked about on this podcast was how just for wives and girlfriends of athletes in general, it's really hard for them to have traditional careers, because a lot of times you're either like moving around a lot if your husband is getting moved to different teams and states and cities, or, if you have even a stable team, like he was on the 49ers for a while, they still went back and lived in New York, I believe, for like half of the year when the football season wasn't happening. So a lot of them maintain kind of dual residences to have at least one permanent place. And so it's like, you can't really do like a desk job in one location. You're going to be moving around a lot. You need to be available to travel a lot on the weekends and be really flexible. So having this thing that she was, being an entrepreneur, it was all online based too. And just being able to like have her own independent thing and make it work while he was playing.
Yeah.
Really smart.
That's totally makes sense to me. You see a lot of WAGs, especially wives and girlfriends of the NFL and within the sports realm. A lot of them, now that they're becoming a little bit more in the limelight, they're making their own path, and they're doing it in a way that, for Kristin, for example, she's creating through sewing and upcycling, which is great. And then for other creators or other wives and girlfriends, they're creating content on TikTok and all of that. So it's really great to see them kind of building their own destiny in a way.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love that because I could see, with your husband being a famous athlete, which not only comes with they're known by a lot of people, they're on TV, but like just the like regimented schedule they must have to have with all the practicing and like nutrition and everything like that. It would probably be easy to kind of let yourself be in the backseat and just follow along. And it's so amazing and supportive that those women do that and kind of give up like maybe some of their dreams to support their spouse's dreams, which, isn't limited to the NFL. It's just kind of something that certain like people and couples do. So the fact that they're both able to be very successful individually.
Yeah.
We love that.
We love that. And we support that.
We support. So yeah, she's working on Origin. I think she does this for around 3 years or so. Her dream was always to still have her own line of clothes where she's designing them and kind of what we see more now. So I think, ends up taking a backseat to pursuing that. But just to kind of finish off some relationship timelines, they got married in 2019. So they were married for about, what's this year? 4 or 5 years now. Exciting. And they became parents to a dog in 2020. And she told a really funny story about getting their dog Mozzarella. That's, how do you pronounce the dog? Smoyed?
Smoyen.
Smoyen? Okay. Yeah. It's fancy.
I don't know if it's Smoyed or Smoyen.
Okay, I definitely don't know. The big fluffy white dogs that are so cute.
They're super cute.
So they had, I guess, like set up to get this dog from a breeder in Canada, and then the borders closed from COVID, and so they ended up driving like 12 hours up to the Canadian border and basically had to negotiate with like the agents up there, the border agents of like, we need to go pick up our dog. We just drove half a day to get here, and they let them kind of just like get in, get out really fast.
Wow.
So they made it happen though, and their dog is so cute.
Yeah, they got really lucky. I feel like border agents are not usually friendly.
No,
like, no, you can't.
Like, I don't care about your dog. Go home. We don't want your COVID. It's like, no, I'm getting my puppy right now.
Yeah, drop that name so we know to go through that person. Yeah, we need to go to Canada on the flip of a switch.
Yeah,
but
the chill agent.
Yeah, I mean, I always see her post her dog content when she's sewing, and
oh my God,
Mozzarella is getting in the way, and they're adorable.
No,
so cute.
So cute. So yeah, they have Mozzarella, and then they just got another dog maybe last year, same breed, named Pierogi. So Mozzie and Pierogi are so cute. And she made an Instagram for her dogs, which I love that anyways. I love people that like need to take so many pictures of their dogs that they post them online. Like, I will consume all the dog content all day long. Please give it to me. Like, shout out to Miss Peaches. Because that is the only content I like am looking forward to consuming every single day.
It doesn't get old.
Never gets old. I just want so much more of it. But they're so cute. Her and Kyle will post just the dogs on little adventures, and like kind of like we'll make the caption from the dog's perspective. And then they comment back like from, them as like the parent perspective. And it's just like so funny. Like, they posted this funny picture of Mozzarella like kind of like laying down on the bed and like looking back at it, and then the caption was like posting thirst traps or something. And then Kristin comments like mother like daughter. I was like, if that's not me as a dog parent.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that they're having fun with being dog parents. I mean, that's the only way. And I know that for me, whenever I want to post pictures of my dog, I like get embarrassed because I could post him all day.
Yes.
And like my friends are going to be annoyed. So I get the allure of wanting to have your own page for your dog.
Yes.
It's like, if you like him enough, follow him, and it's only for my guy or my girl.
They did get that follow from me. So this is the exact content I'm coming to Instagram for, more dog content. So that's super sweet. And just, I think like, again, like shows their fun personality. They're big animal lovers, which is very sweet. So in 2021, Kyle, his contract was up again for the 49ers, but they did want to renew him, and they actually signed him to a 5-year deal. So this is his current contract he has now at $27 million across the 5 years, which made him the highest paid fullback in all of the NFL.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man of talent.
A man of talent. He went to Harvard. He's the highest paid at his position.
I mean, come on.
Like, save some talent for the rest of us, big guy. Come on.
And he's so supportive of Kristin too, just from all of their posts. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
He's just a well-rounded man. She's so lucky.
And we love you, Kyle and Kristin.
Vice versa.
So yeah, around that time, 2021, he's getting that big paycheck, and that's when she kind of stops posting about Origin, and I think starts focusing on her new clothing line.
Yeah, and I think in that same year is when we do start to see her start taking her talents to the stadium. As she's going to more games, she's posting a lot more. You can see her expertise and her talents kind of like coming to light. I feel like in those years, she started upcycling a little bit more and reworking some of Kyle's jerseys and his t-shirts. And you've seen in those few years, her creations just really explode. Like, the options were limitless. She was creating hats. She was creating blazers. She was creating every single kind of corset available. And she was making pants, skirts, like anything custom with his name on it. She had it. I think I saw an interview and they said, or the interviewer asked her how many jerseys that she's cut up. And she's like, definitely over 30. She's like, I probably lost count, but if I had to guess, over 30. So it was like in those few years, you can see her craft really start to take off. And around that time, she made a goal for herself to not only create kind of those custom pieces for herself, but she wanted to make them for other people. And I think that she made a goal to create something new every single week that she does for every single, like every time that there was a game in a new week, then she wanted to create something for herself and something else for either another wag or a wifey or just another celebrity or someone that she knows. So I think this is where we kind of start to see things shift a little bit, because she not only dresses Simone Biles, Deebo Samuel, Taylor Lautner, but where that big explosion happens is with none other than Taylor Swift.
Yes.
We love to see it. That's when the media really had this whole frenzy and like it just kind of popped off. A lot of people were wondering who was this mystery designer, even though she has been around and she had been creating videos on TikTok and on her Instagram for years. I know the first time that I discovered her was a little bit before the Taylor Swift effect. She posted a corset that was all made from the pigskin or whatever it is, like the leather of a football.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so unique, and I love it because I am a big thrifter myself, and that's always been a dream of mine to be able to sew and to just be able to like slice and dice things that are personally for me. And she's able to accomplish that, and we've seen that in not only her work, but the work that she's done for these other celebrities and players, which has been super crazy to see.
Yeah, no, she is absolutely killing it. Her pieces are so unique, so beautiful. I was thinking of that one too that she did that was like kind of like the plaid, like halter top and long skirt that has all the like 49ers patches and stuff on it. It's just, really, really beautiful designs. And I think the how the jacket got to Taylor Swift was through Brittany Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
Didn't she send both jackets to Brittany of like, here's one with Travis Kelce's number on it, here's one with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And Brittany was like, okay, I'll talk to Taylor. And then I think texted Kristin and was like, okay, can you send me a video of Taylor's jacket? And Kristin was like freaking out, like, oh my God, is this actually happening? Like, is she gonna wear my jacket? Which like, she knew, I think, the impact that it could have of just like at that scale where like not only like she was already, like you said, like making clothes and well known among the NFL, but just at the scale that Taylor's, fans get you to,
totally
just completely blew up.
Yeah, that's where things really changed for her. And I think in interviews she talks about that's when she had her pinch me moment. Like, is this real? She had a lot of adrenaline during that time because once that happened, things really took off for her. And I think she just remained really busy because she got asked from a lot of other wifeys on the Niners and across other teams to create different pieces for her. And around this time, obviously, the Niners are heading into playoffs and they make it to the Super Bowl. So within, it seemed like a matter of weeks, she went from creating outfits for herself, creating pieces for celebrities and well-known athletes. And then she's getting licensed by the NFL officially to sell designs by Kristin at the Super Bowl, which was crazy to see just within a few weeks. It happened so fast.
It all happened so fast.
Like, what a dream.
It was literally Taylor comes out in that jacket. And again, I don't want to take away from, or sound like we're taking away from Kristin's like work for years and years and years, but it just like the way that it sped up so quickly of she wears the jacket. I read in an article that when Taylor first walked out of the tunnel, someone on the announcer stand was like, wow, like Taylor Swift can get Nike to do anything, can't she? And then that's when we see like Kyle really taking it to Twitter and Instagram that night and responding to every single person that posted Taylor in the jacket or anyone like, made by my wife, Kristin Juszczyk designs. And he was so just all over it. Like there was an interview where someone asked him like, how many posts do you think you replied to? And he was just like, I have no idea, but I was up late that night. He was out there fighting to get her recognition, which is so sweet. And just, again, like how much she had supported him with the cross country move and just like making sure that they can, you know, work around his schedule. When he saw her finally getting recognized for all of her hard work, he was just so happy and needed to make sure she was getting all the credit.
Yeah.
And then, just thinking about that leading up to the NFL, how she, again, went from just, you know, people in fashion or people that are NFL fans knew who she was to then she's like mainstream it girl, fashionista, over 1 million followers on Instagram, designer of the NFL. I'm so happy too that the NFL is smart and capitalizing on it and giving her that contract. And not just letting it be something that like we're all excited about on the side. They're like, no, let it spring you on the payroll. Let's get you access to these logos and these things that you need to make all of these like custom pieces.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move on the NFL because a lot of what you can buy on like, let's say NFLshop.com, I think is the website where you can get sports memorabilia. It's just a lot of jerseys. It's a little, I don't want to say outdated, and I'm not trying to shit on the NFL, but I do think that custom element and her whole design, like her designs in general are just so unique. And I think that's something that was missing for women fashion in sports. And I think this only helps in the long run. I wonder what next year is going to look like for Kristin and the NFL, and if we're going to see some of her pieces on the NFL shop or at certain games, or maybe it's just the Niners. Time will only tell, but I am curious, you know, what that contract looks like for her and how long that licensing deal is. And what's interesting is not only does she have this for the NFL, I know that she has done some work with the NBA, and I've been following her stories. She's been going to New York quite a bit. She's been meeting with the NFL. She's been meeting with the NBA a lot. So I don't think that her story really ends here. And something most recently that she did was design some puffer jackets for Caitlin Clark or for the Iowa game.
Those are so
cute.
I
know that she was there just a few days ago, and I think maybe 4 or 5 weeks back she designed one for Jake from State Farm while he was at the Iowa game. So I think it was a little bit of a marketing ploy for State Farm, which amazing.
I get that State Farm money, girl.
She's been doing a lot of brand deals though, like even going back to the Super Bowl. Not only did she have her licensed puffer jackets, I think that she did some work with Invisalign and Gatorade while she was there. She just seemed so busy in that week of the Super Bowl because of course there's all of like the interviews and the media kind of to prep for the game, and it seemed like she was in the thick of all of it.
Yeah. And just like thinking back of just how crazy it is, all these brand deals, all these like deals with the NFL and the NBA, and that it's just getting started now. Like thinking back to when she was just at her first NFL game, just sitting behind a cute guy playing on the field, just probably thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm so lucky to be dating this athlete. And, you know, he's making all this money. And now it's like, she's going to make more money than him. And she is like a huge household name now. Not that he isn't. And he's been in the NFL for 11 years and is like one of the best, if not the best at his position. But it's just so cool that she was really able to, you know, with her work ethic and her passion, I was going to say her passion for fashion. Really just make that happen. But what's crazy too is I either read this or I heard it on one of her interviews, is that before she even launched her own clothing line, back when she was still doing Origin, she was like, you know, my dream is to launch my own line, and it would just be so cool to like have it on like Revolve's website. Like, but that's like dreaming really big. We just need to take baby steps first. I'm like,
that would be wild.
Yeah. Like I almost got like, like chills when I like heard that. 'Cause it's like, this is her just like absolute like peak would be like selling her clothing line on Revolve. And she probably had no idea just the ceiling for how high this could go. And like you said, it's still growing. It's not even limited to NFL. NBA wants in on it too.
Yeah. Honestly, that brings up a really good point. I think it goes beyond the leagues like NFL and the NBA. Now that she has made her name and people know who she is, I think that her influence in fashion has gone beyond just the NFL and the NBA. Like now, if you look at Revolve's website or any website, a lot of women's fashion, at least in this moment, is influenced by sports. Like a lot of girls wearing jerseys, and a lot of it is just like numbers on the front of a shirt. And it's a little bit more like, I don't know if tomboy-esque is the right word, but lots of baggy jeans and the Samba Adidas. Like,
I'm wearing mine right now.
There we go. I know. I have
Zoom in cameras.
So I think that her influence has really, like, she's made a place for herself in the fashion world, and it's not just the NFL.
Yeah, she really has. I love it so much. One thing I was like, I knew I wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see like with her deal with the NFL, because I know it gives her like rights to use like, you know, every like team's logo and all that, like their likeness. I don't know. I didn't read the contract, but I wonder if she's also going to be making more affordable pieces that, you know, the average fan could buy, because I think right now her pieces are like hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because they're so custom. And I think I read in maybe Kyle had said this in an interview that she spends at least 20 hours on every one of her custom pieces.
Yeah.
And is, you know, up into the wee hours of the morning finishing these guys up. So, you know, not that those should be at an affordable price, but I wonder if there is like a different line that like we could buy.
Yeah. That's so true. And I mean, a lot of her designs, as you mentioned, they do take a long time. Not that I know how to sew very well. I do have a sewing machine. It comes out maybe twice a year. But when you do rework and upcycle designs like she does, like it does take a lot of time, because you have to put patterns together, match them up. And I'm not describing it very well, but it's very intricate and almost mechanical in some ways. And especially when you have each person's unique meabrands, that adds a different element of like, will this fit this person?
Yeah.
So I am curious. I have seen some brands like ASOS do like collabs with, you know, influencers or celebrities. And I wonder if maybe that's the route where she's designing it and they're creating them in a more bulk way. So it's a little bit more affordable. Could be, but I wonder if that takes away from her like authenticity of her designs, or if she'd even want to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, as we were kind of talking through it, of just what she started with Origin and what she's done with the NFL designs. Is it's so much is unique, one of a kind pieces. You can't just get this anywhere. And if someone sees you wearing it, they're going to be like, whoa, where'd you get that? And if we're all on NFLshop.com buying the Kristin Juszczyk shirts and crop tops and skirts and stuff, which I would love to do. It does kind of be like, oh, okay. Like we all kind of have that because it's too accessible. So it is a fine line. Like maybe she is just like really kind of high end sports fan wear. Maybe if we put our money together, we could get one jacket.
Yeah.
And then switch off wearing it.
Oh, the people at the office would love it.
Like, there's Brooke and Noelle in one jacket again. We should have her custom sew it so it's one arm, arm, and then we're together.
I mean, we do sit next to each other, so it could work.
We could give her the measurements to stretch the jacket across the space in between our desks so we can both wear it at the same time.
I don't hate that idea. I'll take anything from her.
Anything, Kristin,
even
please.
just like a piece of fabric, just as a memorabilia.
Just a discarded fabric that she threw into the recycling bin. We'll take that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that actually brings up one idea that I had, or something else that I wanted to share about her. During the Super Bowl, I think she created some Super Bowl specific puffer jackets. And something that I love, and this just kind of speaks to like her ethos of who she is and giving back to the community, is she auctioned off one of the puffer jackets. I think it went for over $35,000, maybe more than that. And I don't know if all of the proceeds, but proceeds went to the Breast Cancer Foundation, which again kind of is an ode to her mom, which was really, really great. And I think that should be highlighted too.
Yeah, I think again,
she just seems like a doll.
Yeah, I would love to be friends with her. If she ever wants to come on the pod,
We'd love quick plug. We love you.
We love her.
Oh my gosh. But I think this is just our first story. This won't be the last. First story of ambition, women in sports, being a supporter. I love to see it. And I think that there'll be a lot more of these in the future. Yeah. But like I said before, I don't think that her story is over, and we're going to continue to be her biggest cheerleader from the sidelines.
We will be. And I'm sure that with all the waves she's making, we're going to be covering all of that in our general news updates on the podcast. So this is your deep dive on Kristin. And again, there will be other wags, but we were excited to cover her today as our first one.
First one, and definitely not the last.
Exactly.
Well, that's all we have for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Bye, Fumblers.
See you next time.
I'm sorry that I talked about eating dog food at the beginning.
Oh, are we going to say anything about the next episode? Do we know?
Oh. Okay, I'm good. No, I was going to say, should we do our intro just for fun or no? Just to get the energy flowing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh God, what is my lines?
What's up, Fumblers? Oh, ew. Why does my voice sound different today? Am I 30?
I think my... Oh, yep.
Oh. Not on camera.
I knew it. Hopefully no bugs today.
Oh my gosh, stop. There was a spider that was in my apartment this weekend, and like, I couldn't kill it because I was too scared to get close to it, and I just locked myself in my room for the rest of the day.
Where was it?
I had just gotten home from dinner on Friday. I'm sitting on my couch. Millie asked to go to the bathroom, so I just go let her out the sliding door. I look back to my couch, spider crawling across the couch like huge.
No.
Right where I was sitting, and it was just like going so fast. And so then of course I screamed, and then Millie's freaking out, and then I screamed again because I didn't have any other solutions. And then I called Ty, but he was out of town, but I just needed emotional support. But then he didn't answer. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So then I just grabbed Millie, grabbed all my stuff, ran into my room, stuffed a towel under my door, and just went to bed. And then the next morning I was like, why did I save this for the morning?
Yeah.
But it wasn't there. I was living in fear.
That's scary.
I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, sometimes they have one appearance and then they never come back.
It was so scary. I was laying in bed like this, and I was like, I'm alive, I'm okay. I'm in coffin, I'm waiting for the spiders to come get me. And then I was like, what if it's laying eggs? No.
Hopefully it wasn't the mom. It was a dad.
I hope it wasn't. It was a man.
You guys are live whenever you want to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're just chit-chatting.
Should we?